preliminary work here done so we can get started.
Okay.
I need to get the YouTube going. All right, I'm recording the evidence in this case now. The court is calling cause number 2009 CM 5905. This is a hearing on a motion to modify and to confirm child support arrearage. The parties in this case are Luis, I have you as Luis Ceniceros, you're signed in as Manny Ceniceros, and Ms. Judith Rodriguez, who are present appearing through the Zoom application. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I'm the Associate Judge for the Title 40 Court here in El Paso, Texas. And we are presenting under the basis of a Zoom application since we cannot appear in court. The Supreme Court of the State of Texas and the Council of Judges has authorized us to proceed on remote hearings. In this case, we're proceeding under the Zoom application. We'll advise both parties that this case, this hearing is being recorded and is being live streamed on the YouTube channel. I was asked that neither party record any of the what is transpired in this case. The only record is being maintained by the Office of Court Administration. I'll ask parties not to talk over each other, because as you just realized, the audio sometimes gives out and there's a delay in some of the audio. Ask that parties conduct themselves as if they were in court, because you are in court. Those are the basic ground rules in this case. At this point, I'm going to ask the Attorney General to make an announcement of readiness in this case. Ms. Kaplan?
Lindsay Kaplan for the state, Your Honor, ready?
All right. And Mr. Ceniceros, are you ready to proceed at this time, sir?
Yes, sir.
I need to
Yes, sir.
talk a little bit louder. Thank you, sir. And Rodriguez, you're also ready to proceed at this time?
Yes, sir.
All right. If I can have both of you, please raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you and each of you solemnly swear that the testimony that you're about to give in this court, it will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Both answered in the affirmative. All right, Ms. Kaplan, go ahead and proceed and present your evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state requests that the court take judicial notice of the order in suit for modification of child support obligation that was signed by the court on April 3rd of 2018, with obligations beginning May 1st of 2018.
All right, the court will take judicial notice of the last order that was done in this case, that order being done in April of 2018. That order was also a modification of the child support. That order is in the court file, duly signed by the appropriate judicial officer and in proper form. So I will take judicial notice of the 2018 court order. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state also requests to offer the financial activity report into evidence at this time.
All right. Pending receipt of that document, the court will take judicial notice of the updated financial report. That's the history of all payments that have been made in this case. All right, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, the state calls Ms. Rodriguez at this time.
All right, go ahead.
Ma'am, what is your full legal name?
Judith Rodriguez.
And who are you the mother of?
Giselle Azanet Ceniceros.
And who does she reside with at this time?
She is residing with her father, Luis Ceniceros.
And how did your child come to live with her father?
We got in a brief argument and she called dad to pick her up and she stayed there ever since.
And did you freely and voluntarily allow your daughter to reside with Mr. Ceniceros?
I didn't want that, but at that point, I didn't want any further issues. I thought she was gonna be back, but apparently she did not come back.
What do you mean you thought she was going to be back?
We got in an argument. She didn't like that I was disciplining her, so she called her dad to pick her up. And once she left, at first I was denying for her to leave with him. But after just arguing back and forth, she left with her dad, and I just thought she was gonna get over it and come back, but she said she wanted to stay and live with her dad.
Okay, and how long has your daughter been residing with her father?
Since she left, that was at the end of June in 2019.
And your daughter is still currently residing with Mr. Ceniceros, correct?
Yes.
And how is your daughter insured?
That I haven't taken, I don't know if he has insurance for her. When she was with me, I had Medicaid. But after she left, I don't have any benefits. I stopped getting any Medicaid, or I mean, I haven't applied for anything with her name anymore ever since.
Okay, and do you have any safety concerns regarding anyone?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any safety concerns with anyone?
No.
Has there ever been any family violence between you and anyone else?
Mr. Ceniceros?
Do you feel that if your address and other personal information were made public, that it would cause you harm, injury, or harassment?
I want to keep it private.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, just to clarify, Ms. Rodriguez, you said that's your daughter, Mr. Ceniceros, since June of 2019?
The end of June. It was like the last days of June.
Okay. How old is your daughter?
She's 15 now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Mhm.
Kaplan, any other evidence for testimony?
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Mr. Ceniceros.
All right, go ahead.
Sir, what is your legal name?
Luis Manuel Ceniceros.
And who are you the father of?
Giselle Asenet Ceniceros.
And who does she live with?
Me.
And how long has she lived with you?
I picked her up on June 25th of 2019.
And from that time until today, has she resided with you continuously?
Yes.
And how did she come to live with you?
She had an argument with her mom. They had a misunderstanding. She asked me to go pick her up. I told her if she wanted to come with me, she was more than welcome. Honestly, just like her mom, I thought that it was going to be a couple of days and she was going to go on and go back. But no, she's still there.
And do you feel that it's in your daughter's best interest to continue to reside with you?
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
And how is your daughter insured, sir?
Right now, I'm paying out of pocket. She doesn't have any medical insurance. I take her across the border for dental work. If she needs any shots or any vaccines, I'll take her to the local clinics.
Do you have any access to private health insurance, sir?
Yes, I do. From work.
Is it possible for you to add your daughter to your private health insurance?
Yes, it is possible.
Do you know how much that would cost you?
The last time I checked, it was a little bit out of my budget. I'm pretty sure I can find an alternative to that.
What alternatives might you have
Um,
as far as health insurance?
there's different health insurance providers around that I can look into to see which one gives me, I guess, something adequate and affordable.
And do you have any other children, sir?
Yes, I have two older boys.
Are they under the age of 18?
No, no, they're not.
And do you have any safety concerns regarding anyone, sir?
No, ma'am.
Has there ever been any family violence between you and anyone?
There was a brief, I guess, occurrence between Judith and myself uh, about 10 years ago, something like that.
Do you feel that it would cause you harm, injury, or harassment for your address or other personal information to be disclosed in a court order, sir?
No, ma'am.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Ceniceros, are you working right now, sir?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work at?
Allegiance Staffing,
How long have you been working there?
going 7 years.
So right now, your daughter doesn't have any health insurance either through you or through Ms. Rodriguez.
That is correct.
Have you found out how much it would cost you to provide health insurance for your daughter?
At one time, I asked my employment, and it was something around $400 extra a month, which was a little bit out of my range. But I mean, I can find some. I've been paying stuff out of pocket for now.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. Kaplan, any other questions for either party?
Your Honor, I have no other questions for either party at this time, Your Honor.
All right. What is the recommendation of the state in this matter?
Your Honor, the state wishes to modify the current child support and medical support to zero that Mr. Sinisteros is obligated to pay. And the reason for this requested modification is due to the fact that, per the testimony of both parties, the child who is the subject of this suit has been residing with Mr. Sinisteros since June of 2019. The state further requests a judgment be taken on the child support and medical support arrears owed, and that an appropriate possession credit be applied for the amount of time that the child has resided with Mr. Sinisteros. The state further recommends that Mr. Sinisteros obtain health insurance for the benefit of the child through another source. And lastly, the state is requesting that Ms. Rodriguez's address and other personal identifying information not be disclosed in any resulting court orders. And if I may have a moment, Your Honor, to calculate a possession credit in this
Yes.
case. Thank
Yes,
you.
go ahead. While she's doing that, what I'm gonna advise the parties is that for the time being, now that the child is with Mr. Ceniceros, that the child support that he was ordered to pay Ms. Rodriguez will be stopped. Okay. This does not change the conservatorship or the custody aspect of the child. Okay, that would have to be done through a separate motion. If the child continues to live with Mr. Ceniceros, then he can file to modify what we call conservatorship or custody of the child. But this order that's going to be entered today does not in any way change that conservatorship or custody. It just merely addresses what is owed in this case, if there is any amount, and what Mr. Ceniceros will have is an obligation to pay support. Obviously, since the child has been with Mr. Ceniceros, the recommendation so far is that the child support be stopped, and that Mr. Cenicero no longer be ordered to pay child support for the child. Okay. Now, if the situation were to change and Mr. Cenicero obtains custody, legal custody of the child, then the courts can order Ms. Rodriguez to pay child support. Okay. But that is not being addressed today. The only thing that's being addressed today is the issues of child support and whether or not there is any child support or medical support arrearage. Okay, just want the parties to be aware of that and to understand that. Okay. Ms. Kaplan?
Yes, Your Honor. I have calculated a possession credit from the months starting July 1st, because the child did go to reside with Mr. Sinisteros at the end of June, starting July 1st of 2019 until today, to be a credit in the amount of $2,493.90. Round to the nearest dollar, that would be $2,494. And the state requests a judgment on the child support arrears owed as of yesterday, in the amount of $6,071.56. And upon subtracting the appropriate possession credit from the $6,071.56, a remaining arrears balance of $3,577.56 exists. So the state requests that a judgment after possession credit of $3,577.56 be repaid at $50 a month beginning July 1st of 2020. And the state further requests a repayment on the medical support judgment also as of yesterday in the amount of $2,457.03, also to be repaid at $50 a month beginning July 1st as well. All obligations commencing July 1st, Your Honor.
I didn't get the payment on the medical support judgment.
$50 per month, Your Honor.
50. Now, as far as the medical support, was Mr. Ceniceros, okay, let me back up. Mr. Rodriguez, is your daughter still covered on Medicaid, or did you stop that?
Well, when that I know of, I recently, because of the whole COVID-19, I had not been receiving benefits since last year in June 2019. Because of this COVID, I reapplied for myself and for my daughter that currently still lives with me for assistance. When I got approved, for some reason, they still put Giselle under my case, but I didn't want any further issues. They had approved her for Medicaid, but I didn't want issues with the father of saying maybe I was getting benefits I shouldn't for her. So I made the change and I made it clear that my daughter was no longer living with me as of June, the end of June 2019. And after that, my services were declined. So regardless, I'm not getting assistance.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Let me restate the position of the state with regard to the arrearages in this case. And I'll ask the parties if they're in agreement with their recommendation. As I indicated, child support will be stopped. In other words, Mr. Ceniceros, you would not be ordered to pay child support to Ms. Rodriguez. And also, this order would require you to provide health insurance for your daughter, either through employment or through some other source. The state is recommending, apparently there's still some child support that is owed to Ms. Rodriguez. After giving you credit, according to their records, they're giving you credit for the possession and will their payments still be made, Ms. Kaplan?
Payments were made until, I want to say February.
Okay.
So I don't know
The
anything.
financial report? Okay.
Your Honor,
Any
in these
payments
types
that any payments that you have made, Mr. Ceniceros, will be taken into account in determining whether or not there is a balance. Okay, so if you
Well,
continue to make payments, uh, they should have given you credit for those payments that you made. And what I was talking about as far as any possession credits, the time that the daughter came to live with you since July of last year, because apparently the testimony is that she came to live with you the end of June, so June was still owed. So subsequent to July, that's when the possession credit would take place. Okay. All that being said, what they're recommending is there's still a balance of child support that is owed to Ms. Rodriguez. And when I got the amount, Ms. Kaplan, correct me if I'm wrong, the balance that's owed is $3,577.56 after possession credit.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ceniceros, I see you're shaking your head. You seem to not be in agreement with that, sir.
no, sir.
Tell me why not.
When I called on July to have them hold, because they were still deducting from me, but I requested the Attorney General hold payments they were still being made, but they were sent to the Attorney General, not to Ms. Judith. So I was never behind on child support. So they were retaining all that money. They should still have that money on their books. So I was never behind the child support. Up to July, the payments got sent to Ms. Judith. On August, the payments were already detained by the Attorney General. So I don't know anything.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask the Attorney General a question. Is there any money on hold?
Yes, Your Honor. The, there is a hold on this case. So the payments that are on hold are not reflected on the financial activity report because in order to give a possession credit, arrears have to be owed. So whatever money is on hold will be applied to the arrears that exist after giving the possession credit, and whatever money is on hold over and above that will be returned to Mr. Ceniceros.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a basic accounting situation.
There was no arrears to begin with, Your Honor.
Okay, I understand. Well,
Never behind.
the only way that could have been rectified is either one of you all go to file a motion to change the custody of the child. Okay. Would the money that's on hold right now, what would that, I know if you can give me an idea, would that wipe out any of the arrearage in this case, or would he still be owing some child support?
Your Honor, I'm not logged on to the child support database because when I log on to Zoom and the child support database at the same time, my Zoom application crashes.
There's about $7,020 on hold.
How do you know that, sir?
9 months at $780 that I pay.
Okay.
It was August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and March. Sorry, 8 months times the $780 that I paid. It's $6,240.
Okay.
Yeah, but just remember that I was never receiving that amount. My part of the child support, that was including the insurance that you didn't have for her. So just remember to keep that in mind. It was the 780 or what, that amount was never given to me. If they look at the statements, they'll see that it was only like 5 something. So just remember that. Don't include all of it because all of it wasn't going towards your daughter. It was, some of it was because of the insurance and it stated on there. Because I have also they'll see right there like exactly what I was being given at the time.
All right. What I understand from the situation, and due to my prior experience with the Attorney General's office as far as their accounting principles, they need to confirm child support, giving you credit for what they can give you credit. Now, once that the amount is determined, and if the amount that is on hold exceeds this amount, and Ms. Kaplan, you can correct me if I'm wrong, any money that exceeds whatever is owed in this case is to be returned back to Mr. Ceniceros.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
But also, Your Honor, I realized I made an error in calculating my possession credit. I calculated a possession credit based on the $204 of medical support, not on the $580 of child support.
okay.
So if I may have another moment to recalculate, my apologies.
Well, that's about 12 months, almost into the line. Let's say 11 months at 590.
Yeah, because he stopped the payments the first month that he left with her. I gave her the money that was given to me. I gave it back to her. And then thereafter he put the stop payment. So that was good. So I wasn't getting the money, but he wasn't getting the money either. So it's like I guess like a savings account for him.
Well, not really a savings account. They're just not dispersing the unit, the money. They're not giving out the money. They're keeping it until this matter is finalized today. So it's entirely possible, Mr. Ceniceros, that not only will you not owe child support, but there's a possibility you might be getting some money back.
Okay, based on the $580 a month of child support, I have calculated a possession credit in the amount of $7,090.50. My apologies.
Okay, so what does that do to the resulting balance?
So the arrears are completely wiped out as because after placing the hold, he only owes $6,071.56 in child support. So his amount of child support arrears is exceeded by $1,000.
So in essence, he might be getting everything that's on hold back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes, the possession credit exceeds the child support arrears owed by $1,018.94, but I can only give a possession credit up to the arrears owed on the case.
yes.
So how would Your Honor like me to address this issue?
Well, we can confirm the arrears and then give him possession credit, and whatever is owed or whatever money is on hold can be delivered back to Mr. Ceniceros.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So in essence, Mr. Ceniceros, once the order is done and they run the numbers, so to speak, that make clear any arrearages that you have in child support. All right. But keep in mind, parties, this does not change the custody of the child, okay? If the daughter continues to live, is going to continue to live with Mr. Ceniceros, then somebody will need to file a motion to change the custody of the child.
And my daughter's aware, and I've made her aware that if
I'm sorry, what?
at any given, I've made my daughter aware that if any given time she wants to return with mom, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it, and she's more than welcome to live wherever she's more comfortable.
Okay, well, that's something that you all will have to talk about and determine at this, at some later date. Okay, all right, Ms. Kaplan, do you have all the information that you need for the order?
Yes, Your Honor. So just to clarify, the child support arrears owed after applying the possession credit is zeroed out, and then the medical support judgment remains unchanged, and the money on hold is going to be applied to that, and the rest is going to be dispersed to Mr. Ceniceros.
Yes,
After,
yes, that is correct.
thank you, Your Honor.
It may be that Mr. Ceniceros, you don't owe anything in either child support or medical support, and you might be getting, you probably will be getting some money back from the state. Okay. All right. Regarding the non-disclosure, I did see that there was a protective order that was issued in the past. The last order did have a non-disclosure, and I will continue with the non-disclosure of any of parties' information not to be contained in a court order.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Ms. Kaplan, if you will prepare the order for my signature, I will sign it. Once it is signed and filed with the district clerk's office, both of you will receive a copy of the order. All right. I think resolve just about everything in the case.
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
All right. All right. Well, that concludes our hearing in the case. Thank you all very much for your participation. At this time, parties are free to go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was interesting. Let me see if we have,
¿Se fue Lindsay?
I think so. I still have, I don't know who Ismael. Okay, Ismael Pacheco is holding on.
That's an admonishment, right?
Well, now that she's not here. Now I still don't know who Betty Hart is. Let me find out who she is.
Maybe that's Berta Pacheco, no? Berta.
Betty or Beth? What's that? I don't know. I don't know if she's even still there. All I see is a ceiling fan. I know she's connecting. Betty Hart. There you are. Yes, ma'am. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Disconnecting. Audio. Yes, ma'am. Can you identify yourself, please? Okay. Let's try it again. Ma'am, what is your name? Okay, I still can't hear you.
My name is
Okay.
Berta Pacheco.
Berta Pacheco. All right. Okay, because you signed in as Betty Hart.
Well, I got married and my name is Berta Hart, but they've been telling me that all papers gonna have to go through Pacheco.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So you're here, and I think Mr. Pacheco is also on the line. Let's see. I think the AG must have signed off. Taking a while for Mr. Pacheco to sign in. Mr. Pacheco is still trying to sign in. But I don't have an assistant AG. Oh, Mr. Knopf just signed in. Yeah. All right. All right, Mr. Kanath, you're with us today.
Yes, what case are we looking at?
Okay, looking at the case of Mr. Ismael Pacheco and Bertha Pacheco Hart. Last name is now Hart. And I'm still, I see Mr. Pacheco. I think he's still trying to sign in. Mr. Pacheco, are you with us? What are we doing? This is a motion to modify. I don't know if he's still trying to log in or. Yes, sir, Mr. Pacheco? I think I have everybody unmuted. Mr. Pacheco? I think it's a still picture. I don't think he tried to sign in.
And I
Yeah,
think Ms. Kaplan says she's trying to log back in right now.
okay. Mr. Pacheco?
Yes,
Mr. Pacheco? Well, I see the move. Mr. Pacheco? Mr. Pacheco, can you hear me, sir? I don't know what happened to Mr. Pacheco. I know, as far as I know, I have everybody unmuted. He's looking at me, but I don't know. The picture seems like it's moving around.
Yeah, we've got live feed.
Where does he have an X? Oh, I think I don't see him anymore in the waiting room. Okay, he's moving now. Mr. Pacheco? Probably he has it muted. Let me try one.
And I
Unmuted.
believe Ms. Kaplan says that she's in the waiting room as well.
Okay. I can't hear you, sir. Okay, well, that means he signed off. Mr. Pacheco? Okay, well. Apparently he's call again. Enforcement case. Looks like we're going to be admonishing Mr. Pacheco and enforcement with the mod.
I believe we were looking to admonish today, yes.
You can try and sign in again. That would be the last case we have for 1 o'clock. Next batch is at 2:30. Okay, let's see. Well, he hasn't tried to sign back in. Ah. I just heard the doorbell. See if he can join us. Oh, here he is. Unmute. Everybody's unmuted. Still connecting to audio. Mr. Pacheco? Still can't. He's saying he can't hear me. He's shaking his head. Hello?
See if the chat's working.
He needs to mute. He has a mute button on his device. According to my screen, everybody's unmuted. He's trying again. I have him on video, but I don't hear audio. I hear you, sir. I hear you.
Now, it looks like he's on the phone. We could maybe try to call him up and we could get him on speakerphone.
In any event, he has to figure out how to unmute himself. I think he's moving. Ms. Pacheco? Ms. Pacheco?
Yes,
Oh, Mr. Pacheco? He's still been able to make a connection with him. He just hung up. Switching. Mr. Pacheco? Okay, I have somebody else who signed in as a Galaxy A110. Okay. Looks like it's him. No? Can you identify yourself, please? Okay, we'll try again. I didn't hear you, sir. Who are you, please? I think I read his lips in Ismael Pacheco. Yes, sir?
Ismael Pacheco.
There you are. Thank you.
Finally, I'm sorry. Finally, I was having trouble with my phones.
I know, no, that's, I understand that, Mr. Pacheco. I think it's been one of those days too that sometimes the connection doesn't go in. All right, I have Mr. Pacheco and I have Ms. Betty Hart, also known as Betty Pacheco on the line. All right, Mr. Koch, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, let me go ahead and put this on the record. All right, the court is calling cause number 2009 CM 6806. This is a hearing on a motion for enforcement and for modification of the child support. Parties in this case are Ismael Pacheco and Bertha Pacheco, also known as Bertha Hart. Parties are present. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I'm the Associate Judge of Title 40 Court here in El Paso, Texas, and we're proceeding on the basis of a Zoom application since we cannot appear in court due to the pandemic. Parties are present. I'll ask the parties to please keep in mind that even though we're appearing telephonically or remotely, that we're still in court. And I would ask that both parties conduct themselves accordingly. In other words, don't talk over each other because, as you know, we're having problems with the audio situation here. All that being said, those are the ground rules, the basic ground rules in this case. And I'm going to ask the Attorney General to make an announcement on this case.
This is Douglas Canal, appearing for the Office of the Attorney General, ready to proceed. This time we have before the court an action to enforce and modify. We are seeking contempt at this time.
All right, Mr. Pacheco, the Attorney General is asking that I hold you in contempt of court for not paying your child support. If I determine that you are in contempt, the punishment is up to 6 months in jail. Because of the possibility of incarceration, under the law, you are entitled to have an attorney representing you. So you can either hire one on your own, or if you do not have the means to hire one, you can ask that one be appointed to represent you in this matter. Do you wish to hire your own attorney, sir, or are you asking that one be appointed?
I asked the court to appoint me one.
Okay, are you working right now, sir?
No, sir, negative.
When was the last time you had a job?
It was almost 2 years ago, sir.
2 years ago.
Yes, sir.
How do you support yourself?
My wife was working and we received SSI from one of my kids.
All right, Mr. Pacheco, do you have any property, is any homes or real estate that you can sell to pay off this child support arrearage?
No, sir. No, negative.
All right, sir. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender's office to represent you in this matter. The earliest I can set this for a final hearing, Mr. Pacheco, is August the 18th.
Okay.
At 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. I am admonishing you on the record, so this is your official notice of the next court date. Now, you will be receiving a copy of the order, which will be entered to me, that appoints the public defender's office to represent you, and it has a phone number where you can contact the public defender's office. You must be back here, either at the courthouse, or if we have to go to another Zoom hearing, you must appear at that day. If you're not here on that day, sir, I will issue a bench warrant for your arrest. All right. I'm going to go ahead and prepare an order in that regard, and I need, both of you will receive a copy of the order. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Knopf, is there anything else that we need to do in this case?
Feel free to shoot me down here, Judge, but as Mr. Pacheco is not presently working, I would ask that the court also refer him to the NCP Choices Texas Workforce Program to see if he can be found a job with which he can start earning some money to start making payments on his support.
Okay. Mr. Pacheco, the request from the state is to offer this program that is offered through the Texas Workforce Commission. The purpose of that referral is to see if they can help you with employment opportunities. Okay. I'm going to prepare a separate order with regard to that. You are required to report to that office and get that process started to see if they can get a job for you, or at least refer you to some jobs.
That's okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. You must comply with everything, all the requirements of that program. There's no cost to that. What you have to do is register. And if they refer you to certain places, you must go to those places to see if they can get you a job. Okay.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. You'll be receiving a copy of that referral order. It has a phone number where you can contact. There's a contact individual that you must contact to get that done. Okay. All right. With all that, that will conclude our hearing for today. Parties are excused. Thank you very much for your participation. You can sign off now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. I think we're clear. And we got 12 minutes for the next batch.
Just enough time to refresh the coffee.
Recharge the battery.
Will the court be producing